Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more exciting details regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2. Recently this image was posted on Reddit and many of you tweeted it to me saying, why haven't you covered these details? And that's simply because these are the same details that I talked about a couple of days ago, because this was available as a text form on the Origin pre-order page. But this combined with some things in the trailers that has recently been found, as well as if you download the 4K concept art for the game, you can spot some details in there as well, I thought was worth making a video about. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about the concept art for the game, and I did realize that you need to download the 4K version in order to actually see the details clearly, because if you have it in the 1080p resolution, the smaller details gets quite blurry. So before we move over to the deluxe edition image and some other stuff, let's start off with all the troopers we can see in the concept art. It seems like for the Imperial side we can see a full loadout with all classes. I'm assuming that this guy over to the left is probably an Imperial officer. However, it looks a little bit like the ATST driver as well, so it's a little bit strange because the normal officers usually don't have a helmet, but the officers in the old Battlefront games actually had this outfit. And the fact that the three other types of soldiers we can see are different makes me think that this is probably the officer, but it could also be a modification of one of those other three classes. But the other three classes are pretty clear. We have the standard trooper with the E11, which is the assault, and then we have the scout trooper, which is obviously the specialist, and it looks like he has some sort of pulse cannon or A280 CFE. And then of course the heavy, which I think is wielding the DLT-19. And if we move over to the rebel side, we also get a glimpse of how their troopers are gonna look. The standard assault seem to look like this, and I think they have an A280C, which is usually the standard rebel blaster. And then the heavy also seems to have a DLT-19, and it looks fairly similar with the same helmet, but with some heavier armor. And if you look very carefully at the X-Wing, we can see a rebel specialist who seem to be sniping with either the pulse cannon or some other type of sniper blaster. And this is also the same model that we can see in the deluxe edition image. I have, however, not spotted the rebel officer in this image, so it seems like they're showing off 4 classes for the Imperial side and 3 for the rebel side. But I'm then assuming that you can actually customize within those classes, but that these are the standard skins, because obviously it's going to be nice if you can see right away, oh, this is a heavy or this is an officer, so you know which way to counter them. But if we then move over to the deluxe edition, we get to see these different upgrade packs. I've already talked about the different attachments and epic abilities that they include, so I'm not going to do that in this video. If you're interested in those, I will have a link to my other video in the description below. But I want to talk about the actual skins here and the new blasters and give you a little bit of background of those. First off, the trooper in the left corner is not an Imperial officer like a lot of you thought it was. It's a Republic Navy officer. So he is the guy who will be fighting off the clones, simply. I honestly didn't understand that he was from the Republic at first, but I thought he was from the Imperial side. But he's actually from the Republic, and he seems to be the standard skin for the Republic officer. And to the right we have the First Order Heavy, which seems to be like the standard First Order Stormtrooper skin, but with some heavier equipment simply. And then of course the Armored Assault Pack, which is the standard battle droid. And I think that the officer for them might just be a battle droid with some yellow markings, I'm not sure. And then the specialist down in the right corner seems to be the rebel fighter that we can also see in the concept art. It could also be the resistance specialist. They might actually share the same skin, but considering the fact that the trooper in the image on Yavin 4 looks the same, I'm assuming that this is the rebel sniper and not the resistance sniper. But there's one more trooper I wanted to show you. We can also see a First Order officer in the actual trailer if you zoom in. This First Order officer looks very similar to the Republic Navy officer, they just have different colors on their clothes simply. But if we now go back to the blasters, I've mentioned a few of them on the Yavin 4 image, but there's 4 new blasters to the game that you do get with the deluxe edition. And these all have a quite unique background, so let's go through that. First off, we have the Blurg 1120, which is made famous by Hera Syndulla in the Rebel series, and it's named after the Blurg on her home planet of Ryloth. And then for the heavy trooper, you get the FWMB-10 heavy blaster, or mega blaster as it's actually called. It actually looks like it's mounted on a turret on this image, but I think it's probably gonna be something you can carry around in the game. And no, it's not the blaster he's wielding, because that's the F11D, the standard blaster for the Stormtroopers. And then the one you see with the droid, which is actually a little bit confusing, is a CR2 blaster, which was the blaster pistol utilized by the Royal Naboo Security Forces. So I'm not sure why they're showing it with a droid, but the actual droid is wielding the E5 blaster rifle, which is also the standard battle droid blaster that we can also see Padme pick up in Attack of the Clones. And then for the specialist we get the A280 CFE. That blaster is actually a little bit tricky, because that's the pistol that Cassian uses in Rogue One. However, it does have a sniper modification where you add a stock and a barrel to it, which it does in the movie, and that's also when K2SO says his blaster was in the sniper modification. So you basically switch it from a pistol over to the sniper mode, a little bit similarly to the A180 that we have in the Scarif DLC. And it seems like the actual sniper version of this blaster will be one of the standards for the specialist class, or possibly it will be like in the Scarif DLC where you can use the pistol short range but then switch it over to the sniper mode for actual sniping. I do however think that if this is going to be a specialist sniper class, it might be in the sniper mode when you actually spawn in and that you can't actually pick it off. But it would however be pretty cool if you could do that. And that are all the confirmed blasters, as well as the confirmed trooper outfits for the different classes. There are a few more confirmed blasters, such as of course the standard E11, the DL44 and so on. But these were the ones shown in the official art, as well as the one you get through the deluxe edition. And I think it's pretty cool to see that they're adding a lot of new blasters and not just recycling a lot of blasters from the previous game. And the fact that they're taking in stuff that you recognize, such as Cassian's blaster, Hera's blaster, etc, etc. But that is all for this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more Battlefront 2 content. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.